Hello and welcome to Politicos here on Citi TV. The elections are drawing closer and the antecedent issues are following up. So we are hearing reports about the president being impeached, possibly. We are not sure if this is true or not. Today we are in Parliament House to test that for you, whether or not there is even a move to do such a thing, and if the Parliament of the land has the authority to do same, and even can marshal the forces to do that. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu, and you are welcome. So on Politicos today, we are joined by the Honourable Minority Leader in Parliament. He's also the Member of Parliament for the MPP in the Swami constituency. He represents the MPP in Swami, the Honourable Mensah Bonsu. You are welcome to Politicos, sir.
Thank you for having me, but I don't represent the MPP. I represent everybody at Swami, even though I floated on the wings of MPP to get here.
So the NPP MP for Swami, does that make it correct?
I take it so.
Thank you very much. You're welcome to Politicos. So we are hearing that you're going back to Parliament on Thursday. I'm
hearing that as well.
How true is this?
I'm hearing that as well.
Did you receive a summons to come to Parliament?
Nothing formal yet. We had submitted some proposal to the Speaker. And before we adjourned sine die, we were told that Parliament would be recalled to do with some unfinished business. Relating to the proposal from the minority in particular, yes, it's a proposal that we have submitted to the Speaker, but it's been with him, but it's been on the back burner for a while. This matter came up when the matter crossed the table of the Public Accounts Committee, and then because there were lingering issues, we decided to, probe further into this. Whilst we're at it, we heard that a journalist had taken huge steps ahead of us. So we decided to wait to see what came out of his own investigations. Lo and behold, I think his findings, when they came out, agitated the national conscience and indeed disturbed the radar of the nation for a while. So we listened to the fallouts. People expressed opinion. But these matters are better addressed at the place that the Constitution wants us to address. Same. So we sent a proposal to the Speaker. As I said, it's been with him for a while. I get the impression that the Speaker was not very comfortable letting us discuss the matter. But then that he has authority, and he's a person charged with that singular authority to admit such proposals, be it a question or a motion. He could admit the proposal on face value and decide that it must be dealt with in the form and character that is submitted to him. Alternatively, he could decide that, yes, we'll discuss the proposal subject to these amendments that I would want to propose or determine together with the person making the proposal. Third option is for him to flatly refuse. Whatever option that the Speaker applies himself to, I think is obligated, as the practice has been, to have further discussion on the issue with the proposer. Unfortunately, and that is why I said that I'm also not too sure. Unfortunately, I've not had any formal communication on this about whether or not the summons is in respect of this. I had traveled out and it was programmed for me to come back on Wednesday. The program really was then going to end over this weekend. And leaving that jurisdiction and getting to South Africa, I decided to come to take a 2-day rest. And also use the occasion to touch base with some colleagues in the system. We are in election year. Perchance they will be able to support my bid with some resources. So that was my original program. I had some discussion with the Speaker. So when I went and then heard from the grapevine that, Parliament is being summoned, I was taken a bit aback, especially when there had not been any prior consultations or discussions on the issue with my humble self. But be that as it may, I had to come down. So I came cruising down to Ghana to continue and prepare myself and prepare my colleagues and positioning ourselves adequately for the discussion of the proposal on Thursday has been programmed. So I'm hearing, I should tell you that as I sit here now, I still have no formal communication to me on that.
It will be curious that the leader of one of the key leaders of the House do not know why the House is being summoned 3 days to that day, because the media is somewhat assured. I watch with stories that minority is asking for the president to be impeached, for which reason they are going back to the House. So everybody is pre-programmed thinking that on Thursday the minority leader is going to be on his feet and say, well, let's remove the president.
We, at this stage, nobody is talking about impeachment. I think it's a process that we want to start to, investigate the conduct of the president. And if there are any issues that are found to be untoward, would interrogate same, right? As far as I'm concerned, the purpose for doing this is to broaden the horizon of our democratic governance. It is not meant to humiliate anybody or to score political points. And I've told you that this matter came before us when the matter crossed the table of the Public Accounts Committee.
So you are testing the issue?
So we want to see how, if there are any malfeasance involved, how to avoid same into the future. So they become nodal points, they become nodal issues, they become milestones in our democratic governance. And if there are pitfalls, how do we avoid it as a nation? Just so that will be better, our leaders will be better accountable to the people that they govern. That is the purpose for this.
I'll come back and ask you, beyond what the journalist has uncovered, what independent information you have on this issue. But before then, if you could just educate us on the inner workings of the House. Before the House is recalled, is the minority leader not supposed to have a say or a no about why the House should be recalled?
Well, good practice and good convention should compel that there should be discussion on these matters, right? Why this time around, I wouldn't know why it's happening the way it's happening. I think it's not the best of situations, but again, we'll learn from that and move on.
Have you communicated with your colleague on the other side, if he is in the know?
We were together in Mauritius. I left him behind, to be honest. I went ahead of him because I needed to co-chair a committee of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. So I went ahead of the majority leader, and he joined me 2 days after. And we had both programmed to come back, the same day. Unfortunately, I had to leave. I guess he's coming Wednesday. Tuesday 30th. The program was to get to South Africa, and as I said, I was to stay a day and then come Wednesday. As it happened, I had then to proceed with some degree of alacrity to be here.
Some people would be saying this will come at a cost because there are members, obviously, who are on the campaign trail in their constituencies. You have gone on an international assignment. I have spoken to the deputy majority leader who said he was scheduled to travel, but he's had to cancel that. A lot of inconveniences. Who's going to pay for that?
I came down with 2 deputy whips, one for the majority, one for the minority. The Honorable Bafu were for the minority, the Honorable Hajia Boforo for the majority. They were also programmed to travel to India. And that is why I said that the better arrangement would have been for us to maybe discuss this within our own ranks. And the indication that I had from the speaker was that he wanted us to have this discourse, unfortunately. And he himself was supposed to join us in Mauritius. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, he couldn't come. And so that discussion couldn't happen in Mauritius. But, and I will tell you that he asked the clerk to call me and call the majority leader. And the two of us were added them. But no, this is not a matter between us and the clerk. It's a matter between us and the speaker. So can he let the speaker talk to us? Because after all, the initial arrangement was that we would meet there and discuss it. So the clerk said he would communicate our sentiments to the speaker. And that was it. Dead end. no communication to hear that Parliament has been summoned on Thursday.
You and the majority leader, I believe, and watching from afar, I believe you are the two persons who would always have the speaker's ear. Did you personally call out to him to ask him, why are you calling us back? I mean, on a personal level. If not
Unfortunately, when I got there, my phone was playing a trick on me and wouldn't allow me to call. Okay. But if people called, it came through, which is how come the clerk was able to get to me. But I couldn't call from my own phone. But I told him in emphatic terms that, no, this is a matter between me and the speaker. Can you tell him that? I'm all ears. I'm standing by to hear from him. And he, at the time, admittedly, said he had not been able to talk to the majority leader, that he was also trying to get to the majority leader. Fortunately, when he got to him, it was about the same thing that the majority leader told him. That it's not a matter between you and me. It's a matter between the speaker and I. So when we met, when he and I met, because we were in different programs, eventually when we came together, and I told him what the clerk had told me. He said, oh, he called me, and I also told him the same thing. I want to believe that what he told me is the truth. I wouldn't think that he would lie to me on this for anything. So
as we speak, we are not sure what the agenda is, but it seems the Deputy Majority Leader knows, the Honorable Agbeji, MP for Ashaiman, because he is saying that the decision to recall the House is a waste of time, and he's been quoted by some media, Adumola, I believe it is, and that you are planning to impeach the President, but they will marshal their forces to resist you, to quote him.
I've heard that the chief whip for the majority leader, for the majority caucus, has made a similar statement. I also heard that one of the deputy whips has also gone further to say that, well, they are talking about a Ford Expedition car, but the TNT that will be paid members could buy 5 of such. So it's a prodigal waste of time. And I shuddered a bit because in the aborted attempt to discuss the sale and purchase of Merchant Bank at the instance of the minority, no minority member was paid any cent, a penny or peso for TNT. We were told that the majority had paid TNT to themselves. When we inquired, they said, no, we had not paid. They had not paid anything. Today, the chicken are coming home to roost. But the disclosure by Ahmed, the deputy whip, that the TNT that will be paid us. So they were paid and they were expected to be paid TNT. That is the kind of divisionism that is happening in the Parliament of Ghana, which is most unfortunate. But we will want to be very consensual about these things. In that effort, which was aborted, one of the reasons why the majority cited for avoidance was that they thought we were trying to go solo on that, and that we should have built consensus on the matter. So this is an attempt to let us buy, as a legislature, as a collective, to let us buy into it, and then we take it from there.
But beyond what the journalists came up with, which is the expose that we have all seen in the public, does the minority side have any prima facie, or if you like, any firm ground to stand on?
Let's get to the bridge, we'll cross it. We don't want me to go into the bolts and nuts of what it's intended to be discussed. We don't want me to go there. And I shouldn't go there. Because, as I said, we want to build consensus on this. Let's not engage in any preemptive strike. Let's hold together and then see what Parliament as a collective will be able to do.
So on Thursday, you're going to raise this issue?
The issue of?
The issue of the Ford expedition. Because your constituents are talking about it.
Certainly. I mean, I've told you that it's a proposal that we've already submitted to the Speaker. And it went onto the back burner. It's been repositioned to the front burner. So I'm told, at least. So if it has been positioned on the front burner, we have to discuss it. We'll hold together as much as possible.
So, do you have the hard numbers? If push comes to shove that you have to vote on the floor, do you have the 2/3 majority, or can you get the majority side to join you so you could catch up to, you can make up the 2?
I indicated to you that as much as possible we want to be very consensual about this, right? And I want us to pursue that path. I don't want at this stage to be talking about numbers. I want to believe that good conscience will prevail.
But if you're pushing this case, that means you're holding on to something. They say if a blind man wants to stone you, he's definitely had his foot on a stone. You probably have spoken to the majority side, and you are convinced that there's going to be consensual.
We want to be very engaging. We want to be very consultative.
I take it that you have already done the consultation.
I said we want to be very engaging, very consultative. Until Parliament resumes on Thursday, there's still time.
The Honourable Minority Leader and MP for Swami, the Honourable Kyei Mensah Bonsu, thank you very much for joining us on Citi TV.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's how we end today's interview, and that's the Honourable Kyei Mensah Bonsu. He has to go back after the quick recall of Parliament to the constituency, perhaps to do some more campaigning. We have less than 100 days to election 2016, and the Minority Leader must retain his seat. I believe he's really much prepared to do so. But thank you very much. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu, and thank you for joining us.